Rumors say that there's a secret island in the Southern Ocean, and the island is entirely inhabited by women. That's why people are calling it the Virgin Island. Furthermore, these women possess a mysterious seed that makes them age 10 times slower than normal people. That's why many people are looking for this island, including Professor Song, who wants to become immortal and not die. So he sends his men and experts for money to search for this island. Our movie's hero is Wong. At the start of the movie, we see him hearing news about Professor Song donating a large sum of money to people who are going to search for the Virgin Island. Amidst this news, we hear about the mystery surrounding this island. We also know that none of the explorers who went to this island came back alive, and so far the only person who reached this island is a famous researcher named Lei Wai Daibo Wenqing, but he never returned from the island and didn't leave a message for anyone, not even his son. Rumors spread that he was enchanted by the beauty of the women on the island, and that's why he decided to live there. Wenqing decides to look for his father, so he participates in the explorations of Professor Wang and goes to the shore to board a ship. There, he meets a friend named Hyun Woo, who tells him that the sea is dangerous and that he just graduated from a naval academy. And the sea is his game. After they prepare everything, Wong and Hyun board the ship. As soon as they set sail, one of Mr. Song's men arrives and gives them a tracking device. After a while, the two head out to the ocean and begin their journey. Initially, they remain optimistic and hopeful about finding the island. After 2 months of aimlessly traveling, feeling pessimistic, they decide to call off the voyage, especially since their food supplies are running out. They pray to find the island soon. One day, as they complain about the malfunctioning location device, a flock of birds circle them. Wong wakes up to find bird droppings on his face and realizes that these are seagulls, indicating there is an island nearby. And when they use the telescope, they actually see the island right in front of them. And for the first time in his life, he feels happy to have bird droppings on his face. But unfortunately, the high waves prevent them from getting the ship close to the island, so they have to swim to shore. In the scene that follows, when the two wake up and find themselves on the shore, they are surrounded by an army of women. Wong still hasn't fully awakened and asks if they've reached the Virgin Island, but the women remain silent and motionless. After a while, they take the guys to their camp for questioning. As usual, Hyun acts like the charming bad boy trying to flirt with them, but the women beat him up and knock him to the ground. Afterwards, the young men are locked in a wooden cage as punishment. During this time, the tribe's leader, Patriarch, approaches them and tells them that for the past 500 years, many men have invaded their island, and all of them were experienced sailors. Hyun is skeptical that the women have lived for so long and asks if they are immortal, but Patriarch and the women with her leave them to attend to their own affairs. As soon as the women leave, Wong pulls out a knife he had hidden all along and agrees with Hyun to escape when it gets dark. Eventually, they manage to escape from the cage. After that, Wonji insists on searching the place for any evidence, while Hyun tells him that he'll look for a way to escape from the island. In the next scene, Hyun is wandering in the forest trying to find a way out. Meanwhile, Youngji goes to the women's village and enters a cave. We discover that the women have set many traps that Hyun falls into. First, he falls into a rabbit hole, then he is pierced by a wooden arrow in his back. To top it all, a coconut falls and hits his head, leaving him completely messed up. At the same time, Mo Yan, one of the girls from the tribe, and her sister Moon enter the cave where Wonji was snooping around. We know that the kak is the tribe's bathroom, and when Moin prepares to take a shower, Anji tries to escape from the place. Unfortunately, the little girl, Mon, spots him, and Anji attempts to bribe her with a lollipop, but Mon screams and alerts the women in the village. Anji runs away to escape from them, and the women chase after him with spears. When he tries to scare them, he fails, and they subdue him again. In the trial case, the Patriarch tells Wank that escaping prison is considered a sin, and that anyone who attacks the tribe faces severe punishment. At that moment, Hyun enters, covered in wounds on his body, to rescue his friend, and threatens the tribe, claiming he is a trained soldier with combat skills. But the women see through his lie and beats him again. And the tribe sees that when someone sees a woman bathing, it makes her feel ugly, and because of that, they sentence him to death. Before preparing the youths for the sentence, the Patriarch is curious about what brought them here. So Wang tells her that he's looking for his father, who came here 10 years ago. The Patriarch tells him she remembers his father, but if he finds him, she'll kill him. She then orders the women to take the youths to the sacred tree and roast them there. Hyun pleads, saying he didn't see Moin in the bath and asks to be spared, but they don't agree. After that, the women prepare the grill, and during that time, the youths are tied up and locked in a large pen. and Hyun is afraid they might be marinated before being put on fire, and Moin enters on them intending to confront the pervert who saw her and scold him for spying on her. She tells him that to get rid of the ugly label she has to kill him, but when she is about to kill him, we later find out that all she did was untie his rope and help them escape, telling them she hates Anke, but at the same time doesn't want him to die because of her. Unfortunately, the boys take the forest path and fall into traps laid out there, and the next morning they get caught again. This time, they are tied up in front of the sacred tree, and the women prepare many ingredients and light a fire to have a barbecue and dine on the men. But one of them cuts them off, saying that Chun-ho is drowning in the ocean. So all the women run to the shore, and the guys take advantage of the opportunity. They burn the rope they're tied with and escape, without realizing they accidentally set the sacred tree on fire. Meanwhile, the women are crying, watching their friend drown, helpless to save her. The young men see this as an opportunity to escape, but Wang changes his mind at the last moment and decides to save the drowning girl. He ignores the fact that these women are their enemies and wanted to kill him and his friend in the sea. He saves Chun-ho, and after they return to shore, Hyunam performs artificial respiration, and finally, she regains consciousness. The women applaud the young men for their bravery, and then Wang and Hyun stand before the patriarch, and Chun-ho wants the leader to pardon them for saving her life. At that moment, Chun-ho was beginning to like Hyun, and the patriarch was considering forgiving the youths, but suddenly someone came and told her that the sacred tree had been burned and destroyed. After the patriarch learned that Wang and Hyun were the cause, she decided to execute them immediately. Despite Mo-win and Chun-ho suggesting that they give the youth one last chance, the patriarch granted them a 3-month reprieve to restore the tree as it was. She told them that if the tree was not restored to its original state, she would kill them immediately. The next day, Wang and Hyun tried to repair and water the tree. Over time, the youths became closer to the girls, helping them with their daily tasks. Using new tools and techniques, and of course their muscles, they show them how to plant vegetables. Meanwhile, Chun is trying to get closer to Hyun and catch his attention by giving him a flower and fruit every day. One day, Wang is trying to make the tracking device pick up a signal when he notices a dangerous snake close to Moin. He rushes to save her, and while they are lying on the ground, Moin tells him that the snake is her pet and she has raised it. The next day, Wang and Hyun find that the sacred tree has returned to its natural state. On that day, all the women of the island celebrate with the young people, eating and dancing. Wang notices Moin dancing quietly by herself, and he feels the value of the peaceful life they are living. And that life isn't about the number of years you live, and that this island is worth sacrificing your life for. Here, he realizes he's lucky to have found it, and they decide to protect Moin and her tribe. After a while, Moin tells Wang about the history of her tribe, and explains that a long time ago, there was a tribe of all women called the Sorceress Tribe. This tribe was created with the firstborn and was the closest tribe to nature, living among primitive humans. They were responsible for protecting the Yuan seed, and their mission was to maintain the balance between nature and life as humanity expanded. Their desire for the seed increased, and one day they discovered the Yuan seed issue. This led to the genocide of the Sorceress Tribe. To protect the seed, the tribe's leader gave it to the youngest girl and asked her to leave the place as far as she could. The girl witnessed her entire family being killed, but managed to escape as they instructed. After a while, she woke up on a deserted island and found that the seed she carried began to spread across the area. The barren island started blooming with life. Over time, the girl matured and established a new tribe on the island, continuing to guard the Yuan seed. Afterward, Moin says that the girl became the patriarch and that they are descendants of the Sorceress Tribe. The next morning, she takes Wang to the place where she last saw her father. There, Wang finds her father's diaries, which talk about the time the Sorceress Tribe was attacked. He writes that due to their kindness and simplicity, he didn't want anyone to ruin their lives. Therefore, he didn't report them, hoping the tribe wouldn't be harmed and would remain isolated from human greed. He concludes his diary by expressing his hope that Wang will understand the choice he made. In the next scene, Wang figures out what he's supposed to do with the tracking device he has, and he and his friend keep tampering with it. Before they leave, they hear a sound coming from the device, indicating that it's still working. Meanwhile, Mr. Song learns about the island's location, prompting the youths to rush to Rayach's house to warn her to leave the island immediately, as Mr. Song and his men are on their way to take the seed they've been protecting for a long time. They then decide to set up a plan to lure the men and take them down one by one. After a while, Mr. Song arrives with his men, ordering a group of them to search the island. When the men reach the tribe, they are surprised to find the women waiting for them. Then, the women execute their plan and get the men drunk. They lose consciousness, And when Mr. Song finds that there's no response from his men, he goes to the island himself and starts searching. Wang and Hyun greet him and try to convince him that this isn't the island of the Celestials he's looking for. But Mr. Song doesn't believe the lie and orders his men to tie up the women along with Wang and Hyun. Then he threatens Patriarch